Eshkalar, hero song and story. Eshkalar, the song is already boring. Hi, your friends and neighbors in Motown Martians, which we'll be discovering as soon as Elon Musk tortures a big group of people by sending them to Mars, a place where man cannot survive or be healthy. Gee, study the medical ramifications of low gravity environments. Just for a second, you realize he's an idiot. And if he's an idiot about Mars, maybe he's an idiot in other things too. So anyway, today I'm here to burst your bubble because that's my job as the world's greatest Canadian wizard, is to burst your bubble. So today, as the hippies used to say, you weren't alive then, but I was. Today is the worst day of the rest of your life. To you flat earthers out there, because I'm going to show you why flat earth is absolute tomfoolery, that it is Sharpies messing with you. Nobody's trying to help you there. They're all trying to lead you astray because they're bad people, many of them funded by the enemies of our country. Well, your country. My country's Canada. Canada has no enemies. Unless a Soviet era sub washes up on our shore somewhere. We don't have any enemies. Closest thing we have to an enemy is people that smoke Marlboro cigarettes when they should be smoking export A's. And if you don't know why that's funny, you are so not Canadian. So here's the story about flat Earth. If you look at the sun, and astronomers do all the time, and you can find video of it, the sun rotates on its axis. Yes, it does. It's a sphere. If it was a disk, we'd see the edges. So the sun is a sphere. All right. So let's look out in the solar system a little bit. We see Mars. And yes, you yourself can turn a telescope on Mars and watch. And gradually over time, about 24 hours, yeah, it completely shows you a new face because it's a sphere. It goes around in a circle as it rotates around its axis, which, if it was a disk, you would see the edges of the disk. The sun, you'd see the edges of the disk. So the sun is a sphere, and Mars is a sphere. Let's go to Jupiter and watch the great red spot disappear, disappear. And you can only do that if it's a spherical body. Slightly elongated spheroid because of the doggone centripetal effect of that really rapid 10-hour, whatever it is, rotation. It takes the envelope and stretches it out a little bit. But still, it is more spherical than it is disc-like, let me tell you. And then we go to Saturn. Saturn has rings, for goodness sakes. Wouldn't have those if it were a disc. So then we go farther out and we see Neptune. Neptune has markings and spots, and you can watch them over time. They change as it rotates on its axis. It's a sphere. Uranus is a sphere. Venus is behind clouds. Radar imaging seems to indicate that it also very gradually spins on its axis. So every object above a certain size in our solar system can be photographically demonstrated, and by the naked eye, many of them, demonstrated to be spheres. So what makes the Earth special? Why, it's not. All objects above a certain size and mass become spheres. And there you go. All of the gurus trying to teach you about flat Earth are liars trying to lead you astray because they get giggles out of it. They're that caveman, lowbrow. They have fun making you confused. And if I had people like that for friends, wow, I wouldn't be having any fun at all. But because you're my friends, I get to rain on your parade that little bit that lets you see that there is a truth out there. But the guys that have some like narrative to promote aren't trying to get you to seek it. They're trying to get you to believe these narratives that ain't true. Eshkalar has nothing to gain from it except informing you about some truth. A shared objective truth, not somebody's subjective truth. Oh, because I believe it, it must be true. I made it the F up. Some guy did that 2,000 years, made it the F up. I had a vision. If I had a vision, how many people would say like, oh, Eshkalar is now the chosen hand of God? And how many of you would say like, there's a guy that needs an ambulance, quick. Use your brain thing. It works. Which is not to say that the supernatural may or may not exist, that metaphysics may or may not bear fruit someday. But at your current level of understanding and my current level of understanding, I've got quite a perspective, I'll tell you what, man. Might be the 60s. But anyway, yeah, that ain't happening. The Earth is a sphere. The Moon is a sphere. Mars is a sphere. Jupiter is a sphere. Saturn's a sphere. And this is demonstrable. You can look up in the sky through a telescope and see it happen. And if you don't, and you believe some guy says, oh, that doesn't happen, then he's leading you astray. And he's getting giggles out of you being confused. He's a bad person. This is your old pal Eshlar, dealing a little truth, and you may not agree with everything I just said, but I urge you to look for yourselves and don't say, Mommy told me it was... Whew. Golly, you're an adult. Act like one. Leave the being like a kid to me. You'll look so much better in a suit, let me tell you. This is Eshlar. I think I'm signing Orf, but I'm not sure how you do that with only two hands. I think to sign Orf appropriately takes three, which is why we don't have three-handed sign language here on Earth, because humans haven't evolved as far here as they have elsewhere. Oh, and there's a story for another day.